So here's the follow-up testimony of what I posted yesterday. And this is the person who had a friend that they referred to vitamin B12 injections at B12BU. And this is their story, and it's incredible. So they wrote to me, "Hello, Mark. A friend of mine led me to your site because we both have the same type of neuropathy issues. I started injecting B12 early November, and every day my life is being restored, one day at a time. It is shocking, it is unbelievable, it is amazing, and I am so grateful. I have been sick, very sick, since 2010 when both of my parents died. This severe level of grieving caused havoc in my body, and I almost immediately became diabetic, with gout on top of it. Shortly after, I had my gallbladder removed. Then with an endoscopic procedure, I was infected with E. coli, which made me suffer for 7 years with joint pain, neuropathy, and more. The virus settled in my joints. I lost mobility and a lot of my arm function. I was in severe, beyond severe pain. I was then diagnosed with endometrial cancer and had a full hysterectomy. Then, shortly after, I suffered 2 huge kidney stones that had to be surgically removed. Whew. I had broken heart syndrome as well. My doctor put me on METFORMIN and more drugs. The diagnoses kept on coming in. Every day I was getting closer to dying. This past July, I went out for the first time since COVID for a dinner out with a friend who was visiting from another state, and I got serious food poisoning. And from that visit, within 4 days, was hospitalized for a week with severe kidney failure from the food poisoning. During that week, my 22-year-old daughter read up on every drug I was on, and she called me to tell me that metformin was killing me. I listened to what she said, and when I returned home, I took myself off of the metformin. Then this is when a client of mine called me to tell me about her own neuropathy and how she was curing it through vitamin B12 injections. She was so happy. She was wearing shoes for the first time in a long time. I trusted in what she told me and read about what metformin does with B12 and got online to order your B12. It arrived and I took my first injection. 24 hours later, the swelling in my left foot was down enough for me to fit into my shoes with ease. No pushing, stretching, or anything. I just put them on. I was shocked. Then I went through a good amount of metformin detox, and it was a massive struggle. I fired my doctor and found a new specialist who treated me from a whole different perspective. She took me off all my meds and replaced it with 2 drugs, one to treat my heart failure and the other to settle down my blood sugar. I told her about the B12 injections, and she was excited that I found it. With all these changes, my energy was restored, my neuropathy is way better, and I am now able to walk at times without a walker. I am no longer nauseated, no longer have explosive diarrhea, no longer have those deadly intestinal spasms, and now I'm able to eat food without any consequence. I can't even begin to tell you how different I am. But the most important thing of all is now that I have hope. And that's for me too. That was like the biggest thing when I got on vitamin B12 injections. I'm like, I have hope. I can dream of the future. I can think about the future and plan and start to build that way. I don't feel like I'm dying anymore. I feel almost back to who I was before this tornado of illness occurred. And I know for certain that it's the B12 that did the majority of the work, because if I don't stick to my every other day injection, I feel a definite fall into the pit of doom again. Hopefully we can get it to where you're not injecting as often, but definitely at times in the beginning, for a while you have to inject a bit. But yeah, we're going to keep working on that, but I'm so glad you're doing better. She goes on to say that I wanted to tell you about my incredible success story in hopes that it may help someone else who is suffering like I did for 10 years. Try the B12 and see how you feel and see what changes occur. Don't be scared, just do it. It's easy to give yourself a shot. You just have to get past the first one, and then you'll be okay with it. I agree. That first one was hard, and then after you're like, oh, it doesn't even... Most of the time you don't even feel anything. Sometimes you feel a little prick, but I'm not 100%. I'm probably just 30% better, but 30% better is like night and day difference. I'm now able to do other things that will keep me on track. I upgraded my diet. I'm now able to put more and more movement into my life slowly. And I am energized. Wow, I am energized. I am crazily energized and so happy. Every day I wake up happy. I am so happy my friend showed me your site, which allowed me to learn about metformin and B12 deficiency. It's obvious to me that I've been B12 deficient for many years. You have turned my life around. You've offered me blessings that I didn't think possible anymore. I am so grateful, so appreciative, and so happy. Every aspect of my life is changing on a daily basis. I feel alive again, with so much respect and honor to you. And then she followed that up a few days later, saying, hey, Mark, well, I am in tears daily when I wake up and I pinch myself and feel my energy. Seriously, I cry multiple times a day. One doesn't really understand how much suffering they are doing until the suffering gets reduced and then it hits you like a ton of bricks. And you ask yourself, how did I survive it? Well, I barely survived it, but I'm really glad I'm still here. I am taking folate 400 capsules, and with your suggestion, I am going to try some dark leafies that I will grind up into my smoothies so that it gets easier to digest. Or I'll make sure I put them in my Instapot whenever I'm cooking something up. And she finishes up saying, yes, you can share my testimony. If it wasn't for this person sharing with me, I'd still be in hell. So share, share, share. Big hugs to you. Thank you so much for sharing your testimony. For those of you who also have a testimony like this, and it doesn't have to be from my B12, it could be from any vitamin B12 supplement or injections or whatever. I just want to hear about stories about how vitamin B12 restored your health and, gave you your life back. So if you have a story like that, please share it in the comments below or email me. My information is in the description below. And let's really build up this community where we can share hope, give each other hope again, of becoming active again, getting our lives restored, and just planning for the future. So if you haven't already, please subscribe and share this with anybody who might be having some neuropathy issues. And especially if you know someone who's on metformin, that is something I'm going to make a video on a little while later. But yeah, this is one person's experience. So take care. God bless.